So why has this new group been formed, and what difference can it make in a country that seems to be facing new unity challenges reflected in the recent federal election? Senator Scott Tannas is the spokesperson for the newly formed Canadian Senators Group. He joins me from Calgary today. Senator Tannas, first of all, thanks for making time to speak with me. And let me start here if I can. Why is this new group of senators being formed? Why is it needed?
Well, it's a little bit different for many of us than what's been done before. This is a group that is not united by political views. There's center-right, center-left, there's conservatives, people that have traditionally supported liberals. But what unites us is our approach to the job. We've got senators from all regions of the country in the group, and we want to approach the job in a similar fashion. And that involves meticulous research done by our own research bureau that provides us with the facts on legislation, and that will allow us to compare and contrast and consider the information that the government provides us on legislation, and of course that's got some salesmanship to it towards their particular view. We will hear from opposition and get their information on what their concerns are, and then step back and make our own individual decisions.
All right. You were named to the Senate as a Conservative. 3 of your other Conservative colleagues have left the Conservatives to join this group, and I guess I'm wondering what that says about how you thought the effectiveness of the Conservative group in the Senate was doing. Why do you feel there's a need for a different group to bring some of the same concerns to the table?
So out of the 11, two of us are from the Senate caucus, Conservative caucus. The balance are either independents or part of the independent senators group. And I think we all have common goals about how we want to conduct our jobs. And as I was saying, part of that is coming to our own decisions through good, strong research, robust debate in the chamber as opposed to behind closed doors. We have zero interest in developing any kind of group positions on anything. So this is a way in which a number of us who are determined on behalf of the best interests of our own regions, making individual decisions about individual pieces of legislation, making our own contributions to committees, to do that in an ideal way that suits us. And we've all got our own, decisions that we made, reflections that we made over the course of the last number of months that have brought us to this. But it's the perfect time. It's the beginning of a new parliament. I think it's a recognition that we've reached a bit of a tipping point in terms of the methodology that Prime Minister Trudeau has employed to bring senators forward versus more traditional naming of senators. It's been a different journey for me as an elected senator. I found my way into the Canadian Senate by virtue of an election in Alberta, and I spent some time this summer talking to Albertans and thinking about when I ran for the Senate 6.5 years ago, what Albertans told me then should be my priorities and what I talked to them about. So we've all come at it in a different way, and I think there's another piece that a lot of us believe, which is that there should not be tyranny of the majority in the Senate, that more groups are good, that it will generate more robust debate, it'll generate the search for compromise, and it will allow us all to, I think, speak about our own regions unfettered by any other consideration that we've got to make in terms of the groups that we belong to.
Part of the founding goal for the Senate was that it be able to represent the regional interests and concerns from Canadians across the country. And we have senators from across the country, and you're one of them. So how will your group be different than what exists now? What will be done differently than what we currently see in the Senate in terms of looking out for the provinces, the areas of provinces that each of you represent?
Yeah, I think that our group will be a little bit different, but not that much different than I guess where the Conservative group is, where the current Liberal group is, where the Independent Senators group is. But for us, we've laid down a number of tenets that we think will help us be as effective as we can possibly be as senators. And that's what was important for me. I've got 3.5 years left. Out of the 10 years that I committed to Albertans, I would stay in the Senate. And I'm interested first and foremost in maximizing the value that I've got that I can bring for Alberta and bring for Canadians. And the way in which we've organized this group, one of the examples is we've got a maximum number of members that we want to have. We've capped our membership at 25 because we think that more groups are better than fewer. We think that the more we can have different points of view and different ways of approaching things in the Senate, that's good for everybody. It's good for regions, good for debate, good for Canada.
Right. But I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is I would expect you will advance the interests of Alberta. Quebec senators in your group will advance the interests of Quebec, and the others will advance the interests of their provinces as well. So how, I suppose there's the potential there for that to be, I don't know, just as divisive, or how do you make it less divisive than what we're seeing now?
I think the more that we can have senators that are going to make individual decisions without influence of groups, large groups or small, that will step back and make their own decisions and seek compromise in the chamber of debate, that we will make better decisions. And that is what is at the heart of what we're talking about here. We've got a very large independent senators group with 40-some members, almost a majority. And there is a feeling amongst many senators that there is a need for more groups, and the Senate will benefit from that, and Canadians will benefit by better debate and ultimately better compromise. So we've taken the initiative to come together as 11. We'll see if others will join, but we want to make sure that there's lots of room for other groups, and that's why we're capping our membership at 25.
All right, Senator Scott Tannas, thanks so much for your time today, and we'll follow with interest this new group, and we'll see where it takes us. Thank you.